In the grand halls of the Alabaster Palace, a young girl named Elara once polished floors, her reflection a mere whisper against the gleaming marble. She was an orphan, a servant, invisible to the nobles who glided past in their silks and jewels. But in her heart, a fire smoldered, fueled by the whispers of a forgotten prophecy, and the stinging memory of her parents, who were betrayed and cast out by the very royal family she now served. The crown prince, Julian, was particularly cruel. He saw her not as a person, but as an object for his amusement, a target for his petty torments. His laughter echoed in her nightmares, a constant reminder of her powerlessness. But power, Elara learned, was not just about birthright. It was about knowledge. Every night, after the palace fell silent, she would sneak into the royal library. The scent of old parchment and leather became her comfort. She devoured books on history, strategy, and statecraft. She learned the secret allegiances, the hidden debts, and the scandalous affairs of the court. She studied maps, memorizing secret passages and forgotten tunnels beneath the palace. Her mind became a fortress, each piece of information a stone in its wall. She was no longer just a servant. She was a silent observer, a collector of secrets, the most dangerous person in the entire kingdom. Her first move was subtle. The head of the royal guard, a man known for his brutality and unwavering loyalty to the prince, had a secret weakness, a gambling addiction that had pushed his family to the brink of ruin. Elara, using a small inheritance she had painstakingly saved, anonymously settled his debts through a third party. She left a single, unsigned note with the final payment, containing a detail of his life so private only a phantom could know it. The man was shaken. His loyalty, once a solid rock, now had a crack. He began to report the prince's movements to a mysterious benefactor, never knowing it was the quiet servant girl he barely noticed. Next, she targeted the Minister of Finance, a greedy man who siphoned gold from the kingdom's coffers. Elara didn't expose him. Instead, she used the library's archives to discover his illegal trade routes. She anonymously tipped off a rival merchant, creating a conflict that distracted the minister and made him look incompetent. As the kingdom's finances faltered, the king grew frustrated with his minister. And Prince Julian, who relied on the minister's illicit funds for his lavish lifestyle, found his resources dwindling. The whispers in the court began to turn against the prince's Elara, all the while, remained in the shadows, her hands clean, her face a mask of innocence. One day, a visiting duke from a powerful neighboring kingdom arrived for treaty negotiations. This duke was known for his sharp mind and his disdain for fools. Prince Julian, arrogant and unprepared, planned to host a grand hunt in his honor. Elara saw her chance. Using her network of informants, other servants she had helped, guards she had won over, she learned the duke was a passionate historian, obsessed with a particular lost relic of his homeland. A relic she had read about. A relic whose last known location was a crumbling monastery, just a day's ride from the palace. While the prince was busy planning his frivolous hunt, Elara arranged for a chance discovery. She had one of her contacts, a stable boy, mention the monastery's legend to the duke's own stable master. The rumor, planted like a seed, quickly reached the duke's ears. His interest was piqued. On the day of the hunt, the duke feigned a sudden illness and instead made a spontaneous trip to the monastery. Guided by a map Elara had anonymously left in his chambers, he found a hidden compartment, exactly where the ancient text described, and inside, a small, unassuming artifact, the very relic he sought. The duke was ecstatic. He returned to the palace not with a dead stag, but with a piece of his history. He saw Prince Julian as a fool, interested only in sport, while the kingdom around him held real treasures. He looked for the person responsible for this incredible discovery. His investigation, guided by subtle clues Elara had left, led him to her. He didn't find a servant girl polishing floors. He found a woman of sharp intellect and quiet confidence who could speak of history and strategy as if she were born to it. He was captivated. The treaty negotiations shifted. The duke, now allied with a new, unseen power, began making demands that favored his kingdom and undermined Prince Julian's authority. The court was in chaos. The king, seeing his son's failures and the growing instability, was desperate.
The Duke, meanwhile, began to speak of a remarkable woman he had met, a woman with the wisdom of a queen.
He spoke of Elara. Slowly, heads began to turn. The nobles, who had never given her a second glance, now saw her. They saw the quiet strength, the intelligence that had been hiding in plain sight. They saw the loyalty she commanded from the guards and the respect she garnered from the staff. They saw a leader. The final move was a checkmate. Elara, with the Duke's backing, revealed evidence of Prince Julian's treasonous dealings, proving he had been plotting to overthrow his own father with the help of a rival faction. The proof was irrefutable, gathered over years of silent observation. The Minister of Finance, now ruined, confessed to aiding the prince in exchange for leniency. The head of the guard, indebted to Elara, testified against his former master. The king, heartbroken but left with no choice, disowned and exiled his son. The throne was left without a clear heir. In the ensuing power vacuum, there was only one logical choice. It wasn't a noble born of a great house, or a warrior with a famous sword. It was the servant girl who knew the kingdom's every secret, who had outmaneuvered every powerful man in her path, who had the support of a foreign power and the love of the common people.
Elara, the orphan, the invisible girl, ascended the steps to the throne she had won not with steel, but with silence and strategy.
As the crown was placed upon her head, she looked out at the sea of faces, her expression not of triumph, but of grim satisfaction. This wasn't just a victory, it was justice. The journey from servant to queen was complete, a testament to the fact that true power is not inherited, it is forged.
And her reign was just beginning.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.